Hi, welcome to eRacing GP. This is the Global Edition 8. The 8th time we've run the Global Edition in the last 2 years. It's just been getting bigger and better, where we run lots of different classes over a Saturday afternoon. My name's Alex Young, and next to me is Mohammed Afiq. Afiq, we've had the copper, we've had the bronze, and now we've got silver and gold coming up. How have you enjoyed the racing so far today?
Copper has been very surprising because there's a lot of new names. There's a lot of new names joining the grid, and the racing is also close. But bronze, on the other hand,
Wow.
the racing has been really superb.
Yeah, it's been absolutely amazing. Okay, so we are at round 2 of Global Edition 8, and if you want to know what happened in round 1, here are the highlights.
There he is at the start line. When the red lights go on, we will be away, and Alif leads the way. Tadashi left, there's mayhem going on behind, but Alif leads the way from Inigo Anton. He has got himself into P2. Mohammed Tasbi in P3. I tell you what, a 1:43.0 from Inigo Anton. So he's lapping quickly, but he can't get any closer. Axel Knockom here having a good little battle. We are on board with Axel Knockom. He is car number 31. It's Paul Faustino just ahead of him. Alistair Young, we haven't really mentioned. He's got himself into P4, but he's a little bit adrift of Mohammed Tasbi. Let's go back out to the front, though, and the victory has gone to Mohammed Alif.
Yeah, just the rear was extremely lively in these cars, which is really fun to drive.
Yes, we have a go, and it's a solid start from Jin Masvilton. Inigo Anton out of the line, tries to get off to a good start, but Jin Masvilton off to a solid starting gold Amo Hazik, and again, everybody seems to be very disciplined going through the first corner.
Absolutely, Des, and looks like everyone's just thinking about like what Alex said. These cars are absolutely brittle. They could actually be really knocked off the edge by just the slightest collisions to lose the front wing or the rear wing. So right now, everyone take it cautiously through the first few sectors.
Yeah, this is a real family affair. 3-on-1's a bit unfair, isn't it? Inigo Anton, though, goes inside Jin Masvilton. So Inigo Anton into P2. Weaves his way to try to get away from Masvilton. It is Mohammed Tasbi who leads as they come into the hairpin at the end of the penultimate straight for the first time.
We kind of missed it there for a second. There he is. He goes onto the inside and takes the lead fair and square. Looks like Tasbi might have left the door open slightly, and Anton just had no second guesses there. Goes to the inside, takes it.
Well, we'll just have a little look here. Mohammed Alif is, he had the slipstream and may well be looking for P2. In fact, Mohammed Alif goes through into P2.
Oh, he's going to have to send it one into that final corner, turn 15, just to make it through. And Jin, if he gets knocked off there, will not be pleased one bit. We know full well that Anton's going to cross the line and take the victory. But the battle before 4 positions, what we're watching out for. This is going to be really close.
There is the victory. Inigo Anton takes it. Alif in second. Tasbi comes in third. The battle for P4, though. Jin Masvilton and Alistair Young. Alistair goes on the inside. Jin Masvilton tries the switchback. This is so close. Masvilton loses it. Alistair Young takes P4.
Yeah, thank you. I knew at first for the reverse grid I had to get up to first as soon as possible.
Wow, this is an exciting gold race. And after round 1, these are the standings. Mohammed Alif is tied at the top of the points with Inigo Anton. So the Singaporean and the Filipino tied at the points, and it's going to be very tight for them for the whole championship. Tasbi in third, Alistair Young in fourth, Axel Knockom, the 10-year-old, in fifth, Paul Faustino in sixth, Jin Masvilton in seventh, and Son Idu from Australia down in eighth position. Of course, there were 2 classes in those races last week and this week, and that's the gold and the silver. Here are the silver standings after round 1. Nicol Sage took the lion's share of the points in round 1. Alan Drake Cruz was second. Royce Yu from Hong Kong was third. Very quick, a bit unlucky. Aldo Balagulan was fourth. Chester Lamb in fifth. Zikri there in sixth. Nazir Azman, Gonzalez, Bitzmeyer, and Kelvin Powell round out the top 10. Okay, so now we're back on some on-track action. 5 minutes to go so far left of practice, just under 5 minutes to go. And we are watching right now Inigo Anton, who is leading the championship. Co-leader in the Gold Championship. Oh, as Anton spins These cars are extremely tricky to drive. We have to say that. You could hear Alif talking about how tough they are to drive. Very fun to drive as well. And of course, Nocom at the moment is second quickest of all. Axel Nocom's very impressive. He's been doing Global Edition for the last 2 years. And when he joined us, he was only 8. He's 10 now. And he's progressed so much that he's now in the Go class. I was actually represented Philippines in the recently concluded Southeast Asia Esports Championship. So that's how good this young fella is. And now I think back to you. Have you driven these cars before? Because they look really tough.
Well, I've given it a go in the academy in Subang, and oh my goodness, they're so tricky to drive. Like what Alif mentioned, the rear is, you can lose the rear very easily, but it's extremely fun to drive.
Extremely fun to drive. That's good to hear. Because the starts are very critical, aren't they? Because we've seen that in race room. These guys really struggle to get it off the line. What makes it so difficult to start these cars?
I don't know, maybe it's because that the amount of torque that these cars have. Remember, this is a 90s Formula 1 car, so the amount of torque that these things have. And it's a V12, isn't it, Alex?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go for a lap with Knock-On right now as he goes around the track. Here he is going through turns 1 and 2. Easily flat in these cars. Well, in fact, most cars. I'm not sure if it's so easily flat through here. Turns 3 and 4, very tight and twisty. Hard to get the power down as they come out. And now they're on the Wellington Straight.
Well, he's approaching Wellington Straight now. He just exited entry. So the amount of downfalls in these cars in the 90s and one car is so enormous. You can take some of these corners flat out, especially Cobbs, Maggots, and Baggots, but you can't really take Baggots flat out. Oh, Axel Ocom just loses it on the rear there. See, like what I mentioned, it's so easy to lose the rear. Alif was right.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll have to abandon that lap. Maybe we'll try and do a lap with someone else. Let's go have a look at the silver class. Well, let's look at the track first, shall we? We are at Silverstone. It's 5.891 track. You look at the bottom right, you see a little checkered flag. That's where the start-finish line is, and it goes clockwise for 18 corners. Great track to drive, a lot of fun, a lot of fast sweeping corners, and of course you can overtake here, which makes it very interesting.
Yes, indeed. And 4 straights, so overtaking opportunity here is plentiful if you just stick behind the car at those straights.
Yeah.
And if you're brave enough, you can dive down the inside.
Okay, so let's have a look at the other classes racing today in these races. It's a silver class, and Harris Shaimi is quickest at the moment. These are these old GP2, well, I want to say Formula 2 cars, but they're not really Formula 2 cars. They're the old GP2 cars, aren't they? Yeah, and again, they're tricky to drive. Lots of downforce. Have you driven these cars?
I've not driven the GP2 cars.
Yeah?
Yeah, but they sound extremely amazing.
They do sound nice, don't they? I think they rev to about 9,000 revs, I think. Not too high, if I remember correctly. I have driven these cars. There is high downforce, quite sophisticated actually. A lot more technology on these cars than the 90s Formula 1 cars that the Gold is running. Bit nicer to drive, I think, I would imagine, than the Gold drivers, or the Gold cars. But still going to be happy to drive and get the start. And there is Harris Shami. He's won a silver championship before. He's coming back again, so it'll be nice to see how he does. The guy leading that championship, however, is Nico Sage, and there he is, the French-Malaysian with Stratos team, and look at the GoPro colors. So we'll have to watch out for Nico. And look at him, he always drives sideways in the seat. He's quite interesting to watch. If you look at him, he always leans to the left with his head to the right. That's his style, and it works for him because he's another young driver that has improved tremendously over the last couple of years.
Yes, indeed. And Nico Sage is 10 years old, isn't it?
Yeah, he's 10. I think same age as Axel. And there's also another, I think, 11-year-old, which is Alan Drake Cruz from the Philippines as well. I think Cruz actually does a lot of go-karting with Axel Nocom. So they, play together, and they do a lot of simming together as well.
It's impressive to see these 3 youngsters, these 3 with a combined age of 30, the youngest in the grid, can put up a fight amongst these racers who are way older than them and way mature than them. It's really impressive.
Yeah, like I said earlier, when we started doing this, I really thought I'd be working with kids 12 and above. I wasn't sure if the youngsters could have the patience to sit. As we watch Cruz get quite sideways, would have the patience to sit down on the sim for so long. But they've been surprising me in how good they are, so it's been quite special. And another, yeah, he's youngster still. He's only 17. Inigo Anton. But compared to those three we just talked about, he's not young anymore. He's an old driver now. Anton is also very special. And he's going to be hard to beat in the gold class, I think. He's never won a gold class global edition. He's always had the pace. But maybe he just got involved in racecraft has not been there yet. But his racecraft has improved tremendously over the last 6 months or so. So I think he's probably the favorite to win the championship.
Yep, probably favorite to win the championship. As his championship rival, Leif Hamilton, is not in the race at the moment. He's currently on vacation along with his brother Tusby, so it's a little bit unfortunate, but there is a drop round in play. So he can, Leif and Tusby can drop this round and Leif can fight for the championship. Remember, the championship is not over yet as Inigo Anton crosses the line and will start his flying lap. Let's ride on board with him, shall we, Alex?
Yeah, shall we? Let's go. We did the first half lap with Axel, so let's see how he does here. We're now right on board with him. Take it away.
So take it away, coming into the first section of the track, the loop, and approaching entry, exit entry, and down on the power, coming into Wellington Straight. The top speed of these cars can reach up to 290, I believe. So 290 coming into Brooklyn's. Take a tight apex line here, a little wide for Luffield. There you go, a little wide. He doesn't hug the apex tightly, but he's taking the corner in a V rather than a U, which will, increase his speed coming into the national pit straight, which is the all-start free straight. If I think that this 97 car used to start the races in. Coming to Cobbs now, he didn't take it flat though, and he didn't hug the apex, so it's a little bit wide from Inigo Anton, who's racing for Eurasia Motorsport, and now approaching Magus and Beckers. Oh, so much sausage milk on the right there. Coming into Beckett's now, and exits Beckett's and down on the power, exits Chapel, and onto the hangar straight. A lot of action in this hangar straight, but if you can stick behind someone's car, someone's air, you can move on the inside coming into Stowe, as we can see in what is Inigo Anton doing right now. Exits Stowe, full on the gas, and brakes hard for the Vale chicane, the Vale section of the track. This is the final 3 corners of the track. First left-hander, then it's a right-hander, and it's a right-hander again for Club Corner. As we can see on board, Alistair Young at the moment, a little bit of steering correction, and Inigo Anton will cross the line with a lap time of 1:37.98.
Yeah. That's a really good lap, actually. That might be good enough for pole position. Anything in the 37s is an excellent time. So Inigo Anton looking really good at the moment. Also, he's one of the first people to go across the line. So good start for him. He has enough time to do a couple more laps. Let's go down to the silver category. And look who's quickest.
Chit Long Lee. Oh,
Wow.
the guy who was leading, who was a pole man in bronze just now. Oh, I beg my pardon. Haris Jaffi Shemi is on pole at the moment with a
Wow.
lap time of 1:45.289. So only 2 tenths separates between him and Chit Long Lee.
Yeah.
Nico Sage on the other hand.
Yeah. Our championship leader, P3 at the moment. Ooh, he needs to find only 2 more tenths. If he can find 2.5 more tenths, he'll be on pole. Let's follow him for this lap right now. Okay, these GP2 cars, not quite as much power as the 90s Formula 1 car we have, but still very tricky to drive. As we see Nico Siege go down the long straight. Brakes for Brooklyn. See how clean he is. That's okay. Decides to sacrifice the first part of the corner to get on the power for the second part of the corner. And like we saw with Inigo Anton being Luffield. Oh gosh. Yeah, okay, this is a green sector 1 for him, so he is improving, but we don't know if he's improving enough. Just a lift and a down change. Oh, track limits, that's it. He's gonna have to restart his lap. There he goes. Restarts the lap. Okay, but we'll go back to Chuk Long Lee. He's green as well, so maybe he can snatch pole position from Harris Zeffy.
Looks like he may be able to snatch pole position, and it's only 1/10 behind Haris Zeffri Shami. So Chit Long Lee approaches Macas and Brackets, and if he gets this section of the track very cleanly, he can put the car on pole, which is what he needs to do. He didn't have a very good bronze race just now, Chit Long Lee, but he's maybe,
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a strange line on the out of Chapel there. Very interesting line. Didn't use all the road. Not sure why. Maybe he didn't quite get the carry the speed through Beckett's. Anyway, through this corner here, and it's looking quite clean. This could be good enough for pole position, I think, in the silver class. A couple corners to go. Harris Zeffy, let's not forget, is also on a good lap. So even if Long Lead takes pole at this point, Zeffy might be able to cross the line and take it back. And Longley goes across the line. Ooh, not good enough for pole. Because Zeffy has also crossed the line, and he's improved his time. So he's 4/10 up on Longley. So Nickel Sage right now, he had to restart his lap again. I don't think he's got enough time to finish. No, he doesn't. Back at the front though, Inigo Anton is still trying to improve. He's on pole at the moment. Axel Nocom, his fellow compatriot from the Philippines, is second, and it's all Filipino 1, 2, 3, with Paul Faustino coming good with third position.
Yeah, it's a Filipino 1, 2, and 3. Inigo Anton, Axel Nocom, and Paul Faustino respectively. And the gap between Inigo Anton and Axel Nocom is 1.3 seconds. So Inigo Anton, that first lap by him is a wonderful lap, and it's a pole lap if you ask me.
Yep. Faustino, he is improving, but still very far away from Anton, over a second. So Anton's going to take pole by more than a second. That is pretty special indeed. There we go, confirmation as time runs out. 20 seconds left to go in qualifying, but I think it's pretty much done and dusted. Anton on pole, Nocom in second, Paul Faustino third, Son Edu fourth, Alistair Young fifth, Gary Lynn sixth, and Michael Farrons there in seventh. And then for the silver class, Harris Zeffy Sharmi takes his pole position by half a second from Chuck Long Lee, Nickel Sage in third, Royce Yu there in fourth, Alan Drake Cruz in fifth, Jackie Wong in sixth, Chester Lamb seventh, Mohammed Hamdini in eighth, Nazir Asman in ninth, and Oliver Bitzmeyer there in 10th position. So those are the two classes, and we got 2 races coming up for you in the gold and silver class. Okay, so kind of interesting. About just under a minute to go before qualifying starts. We'll welcome our commentator, Amo Hazik, who will be joining us for the commentating in just a while. But before we go, I think it's going to be carnage, isn't it? I mean, the start's going to be tricky.
The start is going to be tricky, but Inigo Anton looks like he's going to get a good start because his championship rival is not here. So the pressure is not on him today. The pressure is on Haris Jeffrey Shami, however, who didn't race in round 1, but is currently on pole in the silver category for this race.
Okay, well, all right. Let's welcome back our co-commentator, Amo Hazik, who will be joining us. Maybe we'll ride on board with Axel Nocom at the start. But Amo, welcome.
Yeah, thanks Alex, thanks Afik, and we are getting ready to go here. 10 seconds left. In fact, we're going straight to the lights. So, not enough time to ask for predictions, but we're gonna go for it anyway after this. On board with Axel. This is a good on board. This is almost very retro-like. Remember the days of Senna here? As we're underway, and it looks as though he's got a good start. He's got a jump on Inigo, and Axel, I think, will get a whole shot coming through turn 1. Yes, he does. He gets the jump on his Filipino teammate from the Esports Championship for Southeast Asia. As further behind, there's a couple cars going off, but let's not mind that. We had to look up in front. Nocom then leads away, but Inigo fights back. Alex, that was a good start from Nocom.
Ooh, what a great start. Goes around the outside of that corner. Fantastic, not showing any fear. Inigo Anton is so keen to get back at him, and there's carnage behind him. His cars are going everywhere off the start, as normally happens with these tricky cars to get off the line. But Nocom there, holding on to the lead for now, but surely it's just going to be a matter of time before Inigo gets through.
Oh, you never say never. You'll never know if Axel could actually hold on to the front here and holding out on his own. The level of maturity that he has gained over the last couple of years of sim racing on ERGP has proven to be tremendous. And now look at that. He's fighting against a guy who's actually fighting for the championship. This is a good start from Axel, but Inigo will not ever let it die. And look at that. Both of them have gone away from the field. In fact, about 5 seconds ahead of the next guy behind. This is incredible.
Yeah, I think there was a big crash behind him that took out quite a few of the gold drivers into turn 2. So these two have a huge lead at the moment. But Inigo Anton there going down the inside, down the hanger straight.
Does he make it? Does he make it through still? Oh, well, yes, he does. He's side by side, but Axel hangs it around the outside. What a brave move there from the young Filipino and holds on to the lead. Inigo, well, he thought that he could expect to have an easy run here because both of the Hamilton clan brothers are not here and he could have a run to the line. But nonetheless, he could still have a good fight with his fellow Filipino who's going to lead across the line. It looks as though Anton by just 6,000ths of a second. What a good race between these two. We're only in the second lap.
Wow, fantastic battle on the opening laps of this race. Oh, and Axel looks to the outside and sweeps around the outside. Inigo got pinched at the apex, and what a great job by the 10-year-old.
10-year-old, yeah. Indeed, absolutely. What a drive here from these two. They're putting on a show for us, and fittingly on one of the oldest circuits on the calendar for Grand Prix racing. It's Silverstone, and we have been coming here since 1950, so it's fitting that we're in classic cars on a thoroughly enjoyable retro circuit, even if it has changed layout a few years. Now then, to confirm who are the drivers that went out during that first lap, it was actually Alistair. Alistair Young was involved in that accident with, I think, Harris, because it was a GoPro car that got involved. So it's a class battle there.
Knockom goes wide, allows Anton to slip through, and now Anton is back into the lead as they go through Maggots and Beckett's.
Well, it was a little bit ambitious there. We can hear sometimes that in the older Formula cars, you had to back off coming through to cops. And unfortunately, Axel there laid off the throttle a little bit later than what he would have liked, and that let an Inigo through. But he's still within earshot, about 0.4 of a second here as we come to the end of lap 2. So Inigo then reassumes the lead of the race.
Okay, back to the silver class. And Nicholas Sage there, championship leaders, managed to survive the opening 2 laps. And he's got a big lead as the guys battle behind him. Chester Lamb there up to P2. So great start by him as well.
Indeed, and both of these guys were just outclassed by Harris in qualifying. But it looks as though they got a clean run to the front here because of Harris being wiped out with Alistair coming through the first turn. So really now, it's their race to lose here. And for Nico, it's going to be an extension of his lead in the championship. This is really good for the young Frenchman / Malaysian.
Yeah, it is. Chester Lamb there in P2. Alan Drake Cruz there in P3. Oliver Bertzmeyer had a great start. He went from P10 all the way up to P4.
Indeed, that's a really good jump from the back of the grid in the Formula 2 class, or in this case in the silver class. Now fighting with the drivers who are established in the silver class here in 4th place. 8th overall, 4th in class. Good start here. There is Oliver in the inset.
Yeah, and who's got all over the back of him? That's Balagulan right now on the back of him. As you look back, Balagulan just backs off. Bertzmeyer though keeps it. Almost ran out wide there, but stays in front, holds on to P4.
Indeed, holds on to P4 for now. This is really good stuff to watch. And unfortunately for these guys in silver, and indeed for the guys in gold as well, there's no DRS, so they have to make the overtakes quite organically, or either like what they did in the bronze class, barging their way through.
Okay. Further back, there's a great battle right now going on. Hamdani there leads a gaggle of cars who are all trying to get back past him as he comes through Maggots right now.
Oh, you can't put 2 cars wide there. We saw just now in the bronze class how crazy it got as Chester Lamb gets a slowdown penalty for track limits review, so he might have gotten up 2 wheels off the grass for a second, so he's gonna have to back it off so that he doesn't get a penalty. Now then, look at that. 4 cars within shot of each other, 3 are battling even closer, and who's that going around the outside of Hamdani? It looks like Balagu. Is it? No, it's not. It's actually Zikri. So Zikri around the outside as a car goes onto the grass, Alex.
Wow, who was that? Someone on the grass just recovering there. Oh, I think that might have been Bertzmeyer.
No, that's Chester. Chester Lamb actually has dropped behind.
Wow.
So Chester has dropped it the same way as Sharik Zulkarnain dropped it during the bronze class. So I think he might have actually spun his wheels a bit too much that time and goes into the infield. So luckily for him, he didn't go out completely, but that puts paid to any challenge that he might have gotten here behind Nico Sage. So Sage then with a 3-second gap in the silver class.
Nice. Okay, so Sage, let's go back to him, the silver class leader. That big lead that he has over anyone. Was that rear left tire looking okay? I thought it was on a puncher or something. But no, seems to be okay. So Nicholas Sage still leading this race at this moment. Alan Drake Cruz then gets promoted up to P2 after Chester Lamb's moment.
Indeed, and it's a youngster one too. In fact, I think Sage and Cruz are about the same age as me, while Oliver Betzmeyer will actually challenge for his first ever podium in the series, and it is his debut season because we did see him for the first time ever last time out in Sepang 2 weeks ago, but he's got a really fast Aldo Balagulan right behind him, and Balagulan then is no slouch. He can try to find a way through somebody if he gets the opportunity, and for now at least Betzmeyer is holding his ground.
Yeah, Betzmeyer I think is taking some damage on that opening lap because you can see the car is crabbing just ever so slightly. But yeah, he's doing a great job. Let's see if he can hold on for his first podium in eRacing GP.
We'll stick with this battle for now because look at that. Watching brief as well behind is Calvin Powell, and the former champion in the copper and bronze classes. Watching brief here in case something happens between these two. Coming up to Stowe. Balagulan on the outside, Betzmeyer on the inside. Ooh, Betzmeyer backs it off a bit. I think he just wants to stall the momentum that Balagulan might have had if he actually went a bit wider, and that worked. He's still in third, but only just coming to the end of lap 5 here.
See if Balagulan can get the exit out of the corner. Yes, he's had an excellent exit, and he's got some slipstream. Oh, he's going to breeze past. He goes through turn 1.
Or is he? Poor Batsmaya hangs it around the outside, and look at that. It brings no, it's actually Jay Wong into play, I think, because I thought just now it was Kevin Papa. It's Jay Wong who comes into play as 2 cars further behind spin. Oh, that's actually gonna open up the rest of the field here, but we're looking at a battle for third place. Now we go back. That's Calvin Powell. Calvin has actually gotten away with that one as the car is beached on the curve. It is Chester Lam, and oh, he's stuck. He cannot move. The car is actually beached.
Wow. There are no marshals to come and push him off that curb. So that could be his race done. The Hong Kong driver who was looking so good earlier on. Oh, look at that. He's smiling. Wow, he's had an eventful day. Oh, he's got to try and reverse off it somehow. Oh, he's probably stuck, isn't he?
See, and unfortunately, that's not the first time I've seen of that happening, because in Formula 3 cars, Formula 3 cars normally get stuck there because the undercarriages are quite low. I didn't know that Formula 2 cars can get stuck as well, or rather, Formula Race Room 2 GP2. Look at that. He smacks in the head. He can't believe it. He's finding the humor in the situation, but unfortunately, that has actually wrecked his race. So he's going to have to start from the back here for race 2.
Okay, so Inigo Anton still leads as you go just past half distance in the race. Axel Nocom there, 2.5 seconds behind, but it's looking super comfortable for the Filipino driver now.
Indeed he is, and I think he can take a bit of experience from here, because he knows full well that Anton has had more time in the seat compared to him, but he can just learn a bit from the older driver of how it's done. And amazingly though, he's not being left behind that far, 3 seconds behind. If anything were to happen to Anton, he could actually pick up the pieces.
Yep. And now on to the battle for silver class, of course. Nico Sage there, another driver with a big lead, because the guys behind him are fighting so hard. So Nico Sage there is looking very comfortable, but we have to keep an eye on the battle for second position, because that's looking really good. Drake Cruz there in P2. He's also got a bit of a gap because the guys behind him are fighting. Oh, and this is the fight for third place.
Oh, wow. Today is just the battle for either second or third today, because we saw it just now in the copper and bronze classes that second and third position was the most hotly contested position on the entire track. And guess what? In gold and silver as well, that seems to be the case, as Oliver Betzmeyer now just fending off for his life here in front of Aldo Balagulan and Jay Wong. This is going to be really one to watch out for the rest of the race. We got about 5 minutes to go here. It's still not over between these three.
No, it's not. Betzmeyer just holding on there right now. But Balagulan and, of course, Jackie Wong behind. And Jackie Wong, you can just see him there. He looks like he's quick enough. We don't know that much about this driver, do we?
Apart from the obvious, which is his team name, as look at that. Jackie's actually driving a bit to the right, to the left there, because his car's crabbing. So he might have had a bit of suspension damage from the wars in the first few laps. So this might compromise his challenge towards the end of the race. But he can still hold on to the back here. So Batsmeyer is the one that's not breathing easy as... Oh! Look at that, that's actually Balagulan losing ground there, and now that's an easy position for Jackie to get up to fourth.
Okay, Jackie in the tow right now. Oh, he's not close enough to really get a tow, but he's looking. Just think it's a matter of time. Wow, look how badly that car's crabbing, so obviously with quite a bit of damage.
Indeed, Alex, it seems as though suspension damage is the order of the day for these guys, as a lot of the cars were looking crabby even in Formula 3, so I guess that's just a single-seater thing.
And look who's just coming up behind him. Look who's catching up after making lost ground.
It's Harris.
Yeah, Harris Zeppi, after getting involved in that first lap incident, has now, our pole man, let's not forget, making good ground.
Indeed, Alex, he has made good ground ever since then. He was actually in 21st at the end of the first lap after that incident with Alistair. Now he's back up to P10 overall and 6th in class, sorry. So he is now coming out to the back. Oh, Jackie actually just got hit back there by Balagulan, and he goes for both of them. It looks as though one has gone out, and it is Jackie. So Jackie has actually gotten way too many incident points, and that's P4 in just 2 corners for Harris.
Wow, great job by Harris. This is going to be great. He's going to pick up a lot of championship points, which I don't think he expected after lap 1.
Indeed, he was actually in the gravel trap coming out into the loop section. So really now, this is in the case of damage limitation, because remember, he did miss round 1. So he's got to actually have a good next 3 rounds in order to stand a chance of actually challenging for the silver honors.
That's true, because his drop round will be round 1. Goes through cops now. So yeah, drop points from round 1 means, yeah, this is exactly what he needed. to try and get some points. He would have got 5 points for pole position, of course. He would try and get another 2 points for fastest lap if he can. Although that is, yeah, I think it's actually been held by Harasek. He's got the fastest lap. He's got the 2 points at the moment.
And they're coming up to the back of Michael Farrens, who was running 4th overall and 4th in class. Looks as though he's having some car trouble. As Harris now, let's see if he can get it through cleanly. Otherwise, he goes out there. He dives one onto the inside, but Batsmeyer equally alert to it, and he stays 4th for now. But this is going to be a battle all the way to the finish, as we have at least about 2 laps to go here to settle the podium in the silver class. And it looks as though Batsmeyer here is holding on for dear life.
Yes. If he tries to get a good exit out the last corner, not quite able to, but you got a feeling he's going to try and dive into turn 3, isn't he? Through turn 1 now turn 2, and now you're going to see him come to turn 3.
Here, Alex, you just got that spot on, and he goes onto the inside, coming through the loop section here at Silverstone, up to Village, and now the loop. And oh, Batsmeyer spun! Batsmeyer has been spun around, and the car's on the curb! Looks like we're going to have another driver stuck! Would you believe it? This is a second case of a driver getting stuck, and I think that might have been, another car spins. That is actually Zikri. Oh, wow. My word. Another car gets beached, Alex.
Well, Racing Line have had really bad luck today. First of all, it was Nazir Azman, and now Zikri. Not a good day for him. Oh, disaster. Dear, oh dear.
Oh, dearie me. It looks as though that the sausage curbs have caught yet another car and another victim, so really, if you want to actually finish this race and not get beached, just avoid the sausage curbs or avoid spinning in turn 2 altogether. So, oh, there we go. Zikri's still there, and a power slide moment there for Anton. Just about clears him as he tries to lap a silver class car. What an absolutely eventful race, Alex.
Yeah. Okay, so Inigo now in the back markers doing some lapping. Just driving very serenely right now. Looking perfect right now, and this should be an easy victory for him. Oh, he is on the last lap. Knock on there in second position. We go back to the battle for silver before the end of this lap, and see Nicol Sage is starting his lap there. He's leading the race at the moment. Alan Drake Cruz there in P2, and that battle for P3 right now, it's Haris Sefi all the way from last almost up to P3 for the silver class. So impressive. Aldo Balagulan there in P4, with Royce Yu there in the yellow car in P5. So Royce Yu's done a good job to also recover, because he also got involved in that first lap shenanigans.
Indeed, and for some of the guys who are picking out the pieces, includes the likes of Hamdani, who is in front of Batsmeyer. So Batsmeyer then, a case of what might have been had it not been for that spin. But I think because he was defending so hard from the guys behind, he actually ate up all his tires, and look, he's also being caught up now by Sherman Singh, a returning Sherman Singh, who finished 3rd here in the championship. But coming out of the final corner now is Inigo Anton, who takes the win here in gold, and a brilliant win after the initial fighting with Axel Nocom for that lead of the race. But he has serenely pulled away from him, and he finishes a full 3 seconds ahead of Axel Nocom. And Nocom then with his first podium of the season in gold class. What a finish for the two Filipinos.
Okay, so we'll try and talk to Inigo right now. See if we can get hold of him. He looks pretty happy, looks pretty pleased. Inigo.
Hello.
Wow.
Yep.
Nice little battle with Axel Nocom at the very beginning.
Yeah, that was actually pretty fun. But yeah, I just messed up my start. I think I bogged down too much. I think a little too low on the revs. But I mean, that fight though we had with Axel was amazing for the next 2 laps. I was just unfortunate though in the last turn of the first lap. There's yellow flag when I passed him because of a glitch, so I had to give it back. But I mean, it just resulted in more fighting. It was extremely fun with him. It's very clean as well.
Okay. Awesome. Well, congratulations. I'll let you get ready for race 2.
Thank you.
Okay, so while we'll wait for the results to come out right now, there is next the gold class winner, Inigo Anton. And now look at the silver class winner. Finished 4th overall, in fact, because there were so many retirements from the gold class. But Nicol Sage there wins his first, wins the first race for silver class today.
Indeed, and that extends his championship lead, because his other championship rivals, which include the likes of Alan Drake Cruz, yes, he finished 2nd, but that's just 5 more points on him. So Nico then building a nice advantage at the front in silver, and that's why he needs, because he just wants to get in those results and be ahead. So Alex, let's run through the results for race 1 here.
Wow. Okay, so Alistair Young is positioned as P3 for some reason. maybe he was going round, but we didn't see him. Nicholas Sage there, like we said, silver class winner. Drake Cruz in second. Harriet Seffi for P3. And you can see all the other winners down there from race 1. Okay, so that was an interesting race 1. Some drivers up there we didn't expect, some drivers who we did expect. So good race win for Inigo. Afiq, yeah, what were your takeaways from race 1?
Interesting. I mean, it's a little bit unfortunate for the gold drivers, some of the gold drivers, because they got caught up in an incident with the silver drivers. Again, these two are racing in the same race. So, looking forward to a cleaner race 2 at the start.
Absolutely. Okay, so here we go. Reverse grid race. And we know how tricky it is to get off the line, so it'll be very interesting to watch. We might go on board with Inigo Anton at the start. Amo, take it away.
Yes, indeed. Yep, indeed. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Alex and Afiq. Now, let's see who can we go on board to. We are trying to go to Inigo, so that will be like a retro style start again, because remember, we did see Axel's on board at the start of the race, so that was almost Senna-esque. As the lights now will go into the gantry, and when they go out, we're going to go here for race 2 for the gold and silver class, multi-class racing. There's the lights. And we are out. That's the green light. So everyone's underway. And on board with Inigo, look at the way he punches through the grid. He is now up to second, coming up to turn 1. Would you believe it? What a start. And Axel Nocon follows suit. We're now watching Son Edu. Edu is now going to be swamped by these two. And there we go. It is a 1-2-3. No, actually, it's a 2-3 for the Filipinos, as Gary Lin actually is up in front. But Inigo then with a brilliant start, Alex.
And there we got the silver class right now as they come out of the corners as well. Mohammed Hamdani's leading the silver class at the moment. Nicholas Sage, though, has had a great start. Oh, there's a car goes off there. I'm not really sure who that was. I think it was Chester Lamb and Abdul Yazid Raza again. It's unlucky there. But Hamdani holding on to the lead right now, but he's challenging some of the gold drivers as they go through Luffield.
Indeed, Hamdani has actually made a brilliant start because he started from behind. As we look at Alistair Young, they're stuck on the grid, unfortunately. Gary Lin up in front, holding on to the lead here from Inigo Anton. But you might feel that is going to be a bit of a formality because, look, he goes a bit wide. And Inigo then, side by side with him coming through Maggots and Beckett's. The easiest maneuver you'll ever think of, as Inigo now storms to the lead. Axel Nocom then watching brief whether or not he wants to actually attack. It's up to him. He's got a few seconds to spare in front of him. But Inigo then with a brilliant start in this first lap, Alex.
Yeah, really good start there. Leads the way. Lin in second, Nocom third, and of course, yeah, there in fourth position, Michael Farrons as well from America.
So Michael also struggled towards the end of the race. We saw just now he was actually being overtaken by the silver class guys, so he might have had trouble with his car, but whatever it is, either a puncture or he had some engine damage, he finished the race strongly to finish in the top 10 in his first outing here in the ERGP Global Edition. Now, coming to the end of first lap, Inigo leads. Gary Lin second, but for how long in front of Axel Nocom? Nocom then looking quite racy behind him, as we are now looking at Gary, who is actually racing in a bar, I think.
Maybe he's a bartender. I hope he serves quickly. But yes, they're in P2, but he's going to come under pressure from Nocom right now. Nocom looking all over the back here. We'll come back to him in a sec because I just want to see what's happening at the front, because Nicholas Sage has just overtaken Hamdani and is now at the front of... oh no, he's not, is he? Yeah, no, he just overtook Harris Zephi. Defending from Harris Zephi, shall we say.
Not defending, because he did overtake him for a second as Harris goes onto the inside trying to intimidate Nico, but Nico is not phased. He still holds on to second place there, coming through Brooklands. And now he sets his sights on Hamdani, as we got a guy spinning. That's Paul Faustino. So Faustino has actually spun it, coming out of Brooklands. That's coming through. Yeah, Nocom going through Cobbs in first position. Sorry, second position in front of Gary Lin. So Gary then, it took about 1.5 laps, but Axel now finally in second position, Alex.
Yeah, look at it. He's trying to fight back, but he's made a mistake there, and that's allowed Nocom to get through.
That was gutsy driving there from Axel. We thought that he might have actually held back a bit, trying to overtake him elsewhere, but through Cops of all places, and he made it clean. So really now, it's a matter of whether or not Axel can actually defend second position in front of Gary, because Gary looks as though he's not being lost here behind the Filipino.
In the silver class, Hamdani there with a small lead, not a big one. I'm really impressed with Hamdani because I know he's not had a chance to practice so much for this weekend. But he's producing some great lap times. I did not expect him to be leading silver at this moment. especially when you got Nico Sage and Harris Zephyr so close behind him.
And if these two were to be fighting hammer and tongs, Hamdani will definitely be making a beeline for it and try to gap them. So, and we see that Harris nearly losing it. These cars are quite tricky to drive. They're a bit different from the GP2 cars you drove before, Alex, which had much wider aerodynamics. But I bet that in terms of driving feel, it's about the same.
Yeah, I would say roughly about the same. Oof. Zephyr there almost went into the back of Sage. That would have caused big problems. And he has had a poor exit now.
And indeed, because you remember the curve on the inside of the loop there is enough to catch the car beach, so you wouldn't want to spin and get caught by that. So these guys are fully aware after what happened to Chester Lam and Muhammad Zikri that you do not want to spin there. As Harris, nearly runs into the back of Nico there, and he had to back it off completely, and in turn lost a lot of time to the Frenchman / Malaysian.
Yeah, he's Harris is actually driving quite well. He's just not being very clever when he's getting to Nico, because that's the second time now I've seen him get too close to Nico and then make a mistake trying to avoid him. So Sage is obviously taking his time, slowing down the car, making sure he gets the rotation before he hits the throttle. And Harris just has to be aware of that, otherwise it's just going to hit him, which is not something he wants, because he could easily break both the cars.
Indeed, and looking at how sensitive these cars are, we have a car in the barrier, that's Michael Farrens. So Michael has actually gotten a big accident there because we saw a cloud of dust on the inside of Maggots, so he might have actually gone out big time, and I think that might just be the end of his race. So sadly for the debutant in the championship, that will be the end of his race. Harris nearly ends up in the barriers too. He just had a big opposite lock moment trying to chase after Nico Sage, but top 3 in silver in race 2 are much closer compared to what they were in race 1, Alex.
Yeah, it was. I think race 1, that opening lap just kind of, that opening lap incident just kind of spread out the field, so it's a lot closer now here in race 2.
Looking at Nico Sage now, driving for Stratos in the GoPro colors. A bit confusing considering the fact that the guy behind him, Harris, is also in the same GoPro-ish type of colors. I think it was GoPro or Samsung. Yeah, sorry, Samsung colors. See, well, you see my point there. It's just similar colored cars. But we can tell who's in front right now, and that's Nico. He's holding on to second position quite well from a rather erratic Harris, who's been trying to desperately get past him for the last couple of laps, Alex.
Yeah, has been, but not able to just yet. Harris has to be a bit clever about how he does that. Needs to try and get him just at the right time so he can get a good exit and try and get him down one of the longer straights. Further back, Chuk Long Lee there's having a pretty good battle with Balagulan.
Aldo Balagulan as well had a battle with Chuk Long Lee likewise for that 4th position in the first race. So really then, it's a matter of how they can actually keep it tight here right now, because look at that, 4 CEOs coming out the back. So really, 3 cars are battling in their class, while this is the GOAT class driver trying to recover after his spin. So this is pretty interesting when you see multi-class racing happening like this.
Yeah, so he's got to somehow find a way through. I'm not surprised the 90s from one car, not as quick through the corners, or maybe marginally quicker, but now on the straight where they can unleash those bigger engines. Look at them just go steaming past all 3 cars. Oh, then he lifts.
Yeah, he had to lift because he can see that the fact that the other guys were battling. So for Faustino, it's not really a lost cause because he is going to finish in 4th place in his class, but albeit 5th place in his class, albeit well behind. As we look at a battle between Calvin Powell and Aldo Balagulan and Alan Drake Cruz, I think, being involved in that one. So this is a good scrap for P4 as Calvin Powell is in the middle of that sandwich, and he has actually lost position to Balagulan. So Balagulan holds on to 4th. All the while then, the other Filipino, for Faustino, watching brief here, seeing if these guys will whack each other.
Now, let's go through these next few corners. Not looking nice and clean. We'll go back to the battle at the front because, guess what? Axel Nocom has got to the front. Inigo Anton must have made a mistake somewhere.
Oh, that's a surprise, as we got a couple of drivers with disqualifications and drive-throughs. That's Betsmere and Ferens. But Axel Nocom in the lead in front of Inigo Anton. We didn't expect that because we thought that Inigo might have actually checked out here up in front, and now he is actually going to have to challenge if he was to actually get a double here in Silverstone. What an amazing turn of events, Alex.
Looks to the outside, looks to the inside, decides to pull out of it. Anton is looking down the inside. Oh, he gets a run. He's going to try and go around the outside of the next left-hander.
Which is going to be a smart thing to do. Oh, not enough. Yeah, it isn't it, Alex?
Yeah, no, not able to right now. So he'll have to do it another time. But Knock-on there, putting in some good fast laps. Right, actually, Inigo Anton has got the fast lap of the race of 40.5. But that mistake that must have happened put him behind Knock-on. But now he's looking down the inside here into this right hand. Whoa! Classic move. Runs a bit wide though, and Knock-on just slips right back through.
Really brilliant racecraft from both of them, but even smarter from Axel to know for a fact that he opened up the door. He knew that Anton would come in pretty hot and run wide, so he just got back at him. So this is going to be interesting. All the while then, Gary Lin is not that far behind, only 1.2 seconds. So if these two were to hit each other and go out of each other's way, go out of the way of Gary will actually take his first win in the championship. Would you believe it?
Well, that'd be great to see a win for Gary Lin. He's not won in eRacing GP before, but still a long way to go. 5.5 minutes. Oh, Knock-on's just coming back to Inigo, but Inigo just ran out of straight there. Great exit out of Cops, though.
We saw that last time. Remember, Inigo actually went to the inside of Axel because he ran wide at Cos. This time, though, again, Anton had a better run, but Axel Knock-on equally, he could challenge to him, so he maintains the lead for now. But for how long? Onto the hanger straight. Alex, what's going to happen here?
Wow, side by side. I think Knock-on, Anton went the wrong way. He should have gone to the left, I think, but he went to the right. But now he's going to the right, and he makes a move. Oh, Knock-on's gone off.
Oh, that's absolutely major there. And luckily for Axel, he actually manages to recover. I thought he was going to go straight into the barriers like Michael Schumacher back in 1999, but he held it together. But will the car be damaged? That remains to be seen, because if it's crabby, that's a suspension failure. But I think, yep, it is crabby, so he's got a bit of suspension damage. But the big beneficiary of that is Gary Lin, and now he's going to attack Inigo.
Yeah, absolutely. Gary Lin, there he is in P2. The Australian will be really pleased with that. I don't think he's finished on the podium before in eRacing GP. This could be the first time for him.
First time on the podium, and even first time with a win too. So Inigo then has to watch his mirrors because he's coming up fast, and I think Inigo might have had damage. He actually has damage. Look at that, the suspension has actually been damaged slightly. He's crabbing, and Gary takes the lead of the race. This is an interesting battle up in gold.
Wow, Lin up to first. He's never finished on the podium, and he might actually get his first win in eRGP.
Wow, wait, this is an exciting battle with that we did not expect. We thought that, well, Inigo might have actually ran away with this, but he proves to be a bit wrong here, because now, look, Gary up in front, second is Inigo, third is Axel. Axel could still actually win this race still, if he actually gets by Inigo and gets past Gary, and Gary runs a bit wide coming through Cops. Here we go then, Inigo side by side coming through Maggots and Baggots. Inigo takes back the lead of the race. Anton first, second Gary, and third is Nocom. What a battle for the lead here in gold.
Yeah, nicely done. Okay, Anton back into the lead where he belongs. But all the cars struggling a little bit with tire wear and some suspension damage when you say Nocom and Anton. Oof. Lin runs wide.
Both cars. Lin runs wide and both cars are compromised, but somehow Inigo can still battle up in front, so I think it just might be a slight damage like a red bar on his indicator or slightly yellow, but either way, Gary then proving to be one of the MVPs for this race. He is actually sticking it with the two fastest guys in the gold class. Gary Lin then second. We're looking back at Inigo Anton, and it looks as though that suspension damage that he had earlier and running white coming out of entry into the Wellington Straight has not really affected him that much. It looks as though the car will still hold together in the last 2 minutes that remain.
That's right, there he is. Oh, Knock-on's through up to second.
So Knock-on then in the Ligier type car, chasing the Benetton type car, even though he has a sponsor from Arrows back in the 80s. But either way, Anton then just about 1.5 seconds ahead. So I think if he holds on to it, he will get a double in Silverstone, but only just after quite a battle here for the lead.
Okay.
Meanwhile, back to Silver.
Yeah, back to Silver right now. Hamdani there leading the race at the moment. Oh, look at that, sliding into second place behind him. Harris Zeffy. Zeffy finally makes his way past Sage Nico, and he's up to P2 with the championship leader right behind him in P3.
And all the while then, Paul Faustino is still behind these guys. I can't believe that he has not made it move. Now he is actually making a move, coming up through the Wellington Straits, through Brooklands. He's going to interrupt this battle only just slightly, because I think he knows full well that this is actually a battle for the lead among their class, so Faustino doesn't want to interrupt anything.
No, no. I think, but Faustino, because he hesitates so much, he just allows the other cars to go by. So, oof, as they both get together there, Sage Nico just showing a little bit of impatience, and the youngster there drops way back. So he's out of the battle for the first place, if you ask me. It's now down to Hamdani in first position and Harasefi in second.
Wow, what a double podium for Hamdani if he actually keeps it together. Because remember, he was second in race 2 in bronze, and he got a podium for FSA Racing that time. But will he get a win this time? So he will try to emulate what Sharek Zulkarnain did in the bronze class and take a win for FSA Racing. But he's going to have to battle for all he's worth here with a fast-charging Haris Efi Shami right behind him.
That's right. Let's go back to the battle in the gold class. Inigo Anton finally pulling out a bit of a gap. He's now got 2 seconds on Axel Nocom. Nocom in P2, Gary Lin in P3. But Gary is not far from Nocom. Look at that. He's still within touching distance.
What a valiant battle he has put up for the two Filipinos. It might just be a podium for him, but it will be a podium that'll be so priceless in the grand scheme of things. How much that he had to fight for it. As we look back to the battle for silver, it looks as though Harris might actually put one on the inside here, Alex.
Oh, Hamdani defends the inside. Harris tries to go to the outside. That was clever driving by Hamdani, just putting the car where he needs to be. And he holds on to it for now.
For now, at least. And for all the while, then Nico's actually dropped further behind. So, as you said, Alex, it is third place for him. But who's going to be the victor in silver? We'll have to wait and see. Because this is the final lap, and we still have 3/4 of the circuit left to go here as we come to the end of Sector 1. Hamdani's the lead. Meanwhile, in the third sector, it is Inigo Anton who's looking good for the double and to take the championship lead away from Alif. Only for this round. Remember, we still have drop rounds for the rest of the championship.
It'll be his first double, won't it?
I think it is, yeah. He hasn't had a double in the championship, so he'll get to emulate the likes of Nakib and Alif Hamilton, who have won a double here in the championship. As he comes across the line now, Inigo Anton wins in gold class race 2. Axel Nocom with a very close second place. A valiant effort for him after he fought his way up to the front with Inigo at one point. But a pair of second places in this round is a good going for the young Filipino. And third, a surprise podium for Gary Lin. Now we go back to the battle for silver, Alex.
Oh, look at that. So, Harris Zefi trying to get the slipstream off the gold class car. Dives down the inside of Hamdani, not able to make it. And the Mad Elk car that belongs to Mohammed Hamdani holds onto the lead right now as they got a couple more corners to go in silver class. Oh, Harris tries to go around the outside, but not able to. And it looks like Hamdani's going to hold on for the win.
He's got all down for the win and absolutely brilliant. Harris spins! He spins into the infield on the final corner. He drops away a podium position in second place. Nico takes second, but it's Hamdani who wins for FSA Racing. A double win for that team in both bronze and silver. Harris spins coming out the final corner. Is he going to get overtaken by Chilton Lee? He is! He just lost a podium on the final corner. That must be absolutely painful for the Malaysian.
Wow. Okay, meanwhile, let's go talk to Inigo Anton. Inigo, okay, that's your first double in eRGP. Really good job. So, well done.
Sorry, hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, oh yeah, hello. Yeah, thank you, but yeah, it's just, I don't know what happened to me. I guess it's just a loss of concentration, just being by myself. And I had the wrong brake bias setting going into that corner, which caused me to have that half spin. And from there, it was really tough, with Axel. He's really a good defender, and yeah, it wasn't the cleanest of battles. I'm a bit sorry for that too, but at least I was able to recover. But yeah, not the cleanest of ways. So hopefully I'll just put in more time, I guess, just to be more consistent with the car. I think it's more of being consistent with the car than actually being quick, because these cars are just really hard to handle.
Okay, well, congratulations. Enjoy your double victory, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
Okay, there are the championship orders. Anton in first, Nocom in second, Lin in third, Idu in fourth, and Faustino in fifth for race 2 of the gold class. On to the silver class now. You can see Hamdani takes his first win in silver, followed by Nickel Sage, Chok Long Lee, Balagulan in fourth, and Haris Sefi finishes fifth. Wow. Okay. So exciting racing indeed. I think you enjoy that.
I did.
Yeah.
It's a lot cleaner at the start compared to race 1, but the racing is a lot better than race 1. So you win some, you lose some, I guess.
Yeah. So the championship's not done. Inigo Anton have a big lead in the championship, but of course, a few drivers not able to be here this weekend. They will use this round as their drop points round, and they will be back for the rounds 3 and 4. Don't go away. We take a 1-week break because we're actually doing the Endurance Edition next week. And then we'll be back with the remaining 2 rounds after that to close off the Global Edition 8. You've been watching eRacing GP. My name's Alex Young with Mohammed Afik here next to me. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon.